Did you ever come across a situation where you're in the office or you're meeting with friends and what they're saying is so cringy, or it's a breakup that's happening right in front of you? Something that's really embarrassing that's happening in front of you. It's cringeworthy, but you can't help but look rather than look away. You want to look away. You're trying to force yourself to look away, but your head is still turning and you're like, oh wow. It's kind of that morbid curiosity. So when it comes to this film, Swedecaroline, it is classic British dry humor that is awkward and makes you squirm and laugh. I would say you're probably gonna have a belly laugh, but is it worth your time? Let's talk about it. In this British mockumentary, the competitive giant vegetable growing world is rocked by scandal when up-and-coming prospect Caroline has her prized marrow plants stolen. Now this is actually just coming to local cinemas, and I think it's going to be a limited run, and you'll probably be able to find it, if not already, on digital platforms. But if you are a cinema goer and you want to see something quintessentially British and you happen to be in the UK, then I think you'll be able to watch this. Elsewhere around the world, I imagine it's online. But Swedecaroline, you know, like Sweet Caroline, is that story of those people that grow crazy big vegetables. You've seen them. I've been to, here in the UK with my wife, we've been to one of their, it's more like showcases rather than the actual competition that was happening, and I was amazed. I was like, how on earth do you grow a vegetable that big? We kill all our plants or vegetables that we're trying to grow. You know, it's magic what they do. So it takes that premise and then gives us a mystery and just the craziness that unravels throughout. So we follow, as if we're following a documentary film crew, follow Caroline as she tries to overcome and gets herself into trouble. I'm really trying to give you an idea of what it's like, that sort of comedy. If you take like the UK Office,
let's get you sat down,
okay,
and then you maybe take a bit of the IT crowd.
I'm gonna put you in IT. Hello, IT.
It's that sort of humor that's so dry and out there that some people are just going to be like put off completely. I would go so far as to say this is going to split. You're either going to love it or hate it. Now, well, maybe that's not true, because I didn't love it, but I was laughing. I was like, oh, this is so awkward. It's not real, but it feels real. So you get the ins and outs of what makes this people, this competition, but it's the eccentricity characters that you'll meet along the way that are so awkward and weird, but also feels authentically right, that you can't help but be mesmerized. And that's what this film does best. It's a mesmeric, I don't think that's a word, but we'll go with it, mesmerizing film that makes you feel awkward and squirmish at some of the dialogue or how the people are acting. And yet some of the actors here, I mean, you'll probably recognize a few of them, but I don't know them, but their performances are flipping hilarious and brilliant. You got Jo Hartley, who plays Caroline, Aisling Bea, who plays Louise, Ray Fearon, who plays Lawrence, Richard Lumsden as Paul. I think he's one of my favorite characters, a guy that you love to hate mostly. It's the lens of what people are willing to do in order to win, whether it's cheating, kidnapping, destroying. It's a mystery wrapped in the enigma of growing vegetables in a realistic mockumentary style take. And like I said, you're either going to love this or hate it. It's very hard to talk about this film because the story is, it is what it is, but it is literally those kind of set pieces, the characters that have these weird interactions, whatever they're going to do next to unravel their, you know, who has stolen what, without doing spoilers, who is going to do what in order to win and be best. It's like you take a competition that you never thought would be massively competitive and then realize it totally is. Like, you know, when you in America, you have so many of those pageants where you start from really young and you think, oh, that's just going to be friendly. And when you look into it, there's documentaries behind the scenes. You're like, whoa, that is so nasty. This has an element of that, but in a very humorous, funny way. So I highly recommend it to people who would enjoy this type of comedy. If you know it, you know it. Like that sort of office mix IT crowd, very sort of tongue-in-cheek, but in the driest way, and then off-the-wall sort of slapstick in a way. And there were moments I was like just cringing deeply, and then there were other moments I was barely laughing because of the circumstances our characters find themselves in. So the pacing, I would say, is fine, because the film seems to have a bit of like all over the place, because you are watching a fake documentary, and so it has a different pacing, a different feel to it. But like I said, mesmerizing, sometimes not for the best reason. Let me know your thoughts and feelings about this type of film, mockumentaries in general. What is your favorite mockumentary? I'd love to know. I don't generally go in for mockumentaries, but this was one that the premise itself just made me go, yeah, I want to watch that. And I think, and I hope, a lot of people will give this the time of day. Find it online, go to your local cinemas, support it. I think you'll enjoy it. I'm going to give this 3 Nicolas Cages out of 5.
You got one.
Let me know your thoughts and feelings. Thanks so much for watching, but most of all, until next time, remember, live long and Tuesday.